Dobro večer, dragi gledatelji, i dobrodošli u prvu epizodu emisije Istražitelj. Emisija Istražitelj je jedna nova emisija koja će se baviti istraživačkim novinarstvom s naglaskom na afere i na priče o kojima nije dovoljno govoreno u hrvatskom medijskom prostoru, ali isto tako i sa nekim posve novim otkrićima. Ovoga puta prva epizoda se bavi s tematikom koja je svjetskom tematikom, znači s onim što se događa u svijetu, sa najvažnijom temom trenutno, a to je kriza, odnosno rat na Bliskom istoku, konkretno operacija koju izraelska vojska provodi na prostoru Gaze, odnosno u Gazi. Mi iz hrvatske perspektive ovdje imamo svoja osobna mišljenja, stajališta koja u nekoj mjeri su točna ili netočna, znači, ali su naša osobna i nismo jednostavno tamo, ne živimo na tom području i samim time ne mogu reći da smo nekompetentni o tome suditi, ali lakše je u svakom slučaju iz naše pozicije odavdje govoriti o tome i imati nekakva mišljenja, dok ljudi koji tamo žive, pogotovo dulje vrijeme i koji su prošli kroz razna razdoblja povijesti tog područja, sigurno imaju o tome za reći nešto više. Zbog toga, kako bi dobili nekakav, ono što bi Amerikanci rekli insight, znači nekakvu informacije sa samog područja od strane aktera, od strane osoba koje žive tamo, koje su sudjelovale u ratovima, koje su svjedočile tim događajima, uspjeli smo stupiti u kontakt sa jednim čovjekom čija je obitelj uostalom, znači sama obitelj bila vezana uz razvoj izraelske vojske, uz vojne operacije i čovjek koji je u svjetskim krugovima visoko rangiran i cijenjen kao instruktor prototerorističkih postrojbi, specijalne policije, vojnih postrojbi i instruktor borilačkih vještina. Radi se o Izraelcu Avi Nardiji, koji inače zadnjih 10 godina živi na prostoru, uvjetno rečeno, bivše Jugoslavije. Konkretno on živi u Beogradu, ali surađuje i sa hrvatskim trenerima borilačkih sportova. Ovdje je često bio, držao predavanja i organizirao razne seminare. Tako da Avi Nardija je bio trener, odnosno instruktor najelitnijih izraelskih postrojbi. I on može iz prve ruke govoriti o tome kako one postupaju na terenu, koji je njihov mentalitet, koja je utreniranost, ali ono još važnije, može odgovoriti na neka krucijalna pitanja koja se postavljaju, koja se nameću prosječnim ljudima, čak i u Hrvatskoj, a to je kako je uopće moglo doći do toga da jedna vrlo loše opremljena u odnosu na Izrael, znači jedna vojska koja je jedna teroristička vojska, jedna naoružana lakšim pješačkim naoružanjem i raketama, ali u svakom slučaju bez neke mehanizacije, može jednostavno prodrijeti u Izrael i izvršiti takav masakr oko 1400 civila i vojnika, zarobiti nekoliko stotina taoca i pobjeći nazad u Gazu. Kako je to moguće uz činjenicu da je Mossad najkvalitetnija, najbolja vjerojatno obavještajna služba na svijetu, da je izraelska vojska najspremnija, da je samo izraelsko stanovništvo dobro naoružano. To su znači pitanja koje smo postavili gospodinu Nardiji i on je dao zanimljive odgovore. Kao što moram unaprijed reći, znači mi kao, televizija sama po sebi, ja kao urednik, novinar, ne mogu podržati neke od stavova koje on iznosi u ovom razgovoru. Ti stavovi se mogu smatrati diskriminatornima u odnosu na palestinski narod, ali smatram da ih ne treba niti cenzurirati, jer on daje jedan uvid kako Izraelci razmišljaju i kako gledaju na ovu situaciju u smislu svog opstanka i u kontekstu toga da su Palestinci, nažalost, neželjeni narod ne samo u Izraelu, nego i u Egiptu, u Jordanu, svugdje gdje god su se oni pojavili, gdje god žive, jednostavno nisu na pravi način prihvaćeni. Mi o tome ne možemo suditi i možemo to, ajmo reći, kritizirati takav postupak prema njima, ali isto tako moramo dati priliku da ljudi poput Avija Nardije daju svoj uvid, znači, i daju neke informacije o tome svemu iz svog kuta gledanja. Ponavljam, ne moramo stati iza toga, dapače, mi se moramo ograditi od nekih njegovih stavova, ali isto tako važno je čuti što čovjek poput Avi Nardije sa svim tim životnim iskustvom i vojnim iskustvom od ratova 80-ima, znači, pa sve do današnjih dana, što on stvarno misli. Pa evo, za početak predlažem da poslušamo ovaj intervju, odnosno pogledate intervju koji sam napravio s njim, a poslije ćemo donijeti neke zaključke o tome svemu.
Otac Avija Nardije služio je u jedinici 101 pod vodstvom Ariela Šarona 1950-ih, a zatim je počeo poučavati svog sina Avija osnovama KPAP-a. Nardija je služio u izraelskim obrambenim snagama kao službeni instruktor prsa u prsa i časnik za sigurnost tijekom svoje službe i službe u pričuvi. U IDF-u je obučavao izraelske specijalne snage i stekao čin bojnika. Nakon demobilizacije Avi Nardija proveo je 7 godina u Japanu učeći karate, jiu-jitsu i kendo. Kada se vratio u Izrael, počeo je obučavati specijalnu postrojbu izraelske policije Jamam. Tijekom godina u Jamamu značajno je poboljšao i obogatio moderni KPAP. Nakon terorističkih napada 11. rujna, Nardija je razvio novu verziju KPAP-a za civilne namjene. Nakon toga preselio se živjeti u Los Angeles u Kaliforniji, gdje je otvorio KPAP akademiju. Danas služi kao stručnjak za SWAT škole u različitim zemljama i kao službeni instruktor koji održava majstorske tečajeve o obrambenim taktikama i operativnom ponašanju diljem svijeta.
Hello, I have Mr. Avi Nardia here with me. He is a world famous military and police instructor, martial arts expert, and also an ex-army officer of IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces. I'm calling him and talking with him about the current situation in the Middle East. First of all, in Israel and Gaza. Let's start with a simple question. Avi, how is it possible that 7th October happened? Considering the experience, the technical, the physical capabilities of IDF, the Mossad experience, the Mossad reputation as the best intelligence agency in the world. How is it possible that these beasts came across the border and attacked civilians and army officers and soldiers?
I would say first that, for the first 3 days after the event, I was not sleeping for 3 days. I mean, I was locked in a shock because I know this kind of people, they grow up into hate and they grow up by evil ends that their agenda, their motto is to kill and to murder. So I'm not surprised. My surprise was much more, like you said, how it was allowed. And I think that there's a lot of superpower behind the scene. I'm not talking, but look at the world. We had the COVID disaster. Then we had the war in Ukraine. Now we don't hear nothing about COVID. We don't hear nothing about Ukraine. Suddenly it's Gaza. And I'm afraid that soon we might even hear Kosovo, Bosnia again. Because it looks like some kind of a war direction is to create some chaos all over the world, to create religion, hate, to create ethnic wars. And now we're coming back, how could it happen? Because I think that superpower is behind it. It's like I always say, there's a big plan, and there's the strategy. The strategy now, let's start a war in Gaza, which it's very easy. Tactic is October 7th. And I don't think that it could be hide from the eyes of the intelligent. I don't think it could be hide behind the government in Israel. And I think that the Israel government, and when I say government, I'm calling also opposition, I'm calling ministers, I'm calling all the people, 120 of them that sit in the Israeli Knesset, which is like the parliament, all their assistants, all their advisors, Secret Service people, intelligent, they all shame and blame in what happened. It's not only the people that did it. It's the people that were responsible that this Holocaust will never happen. And that's why you have a border. You have an army patrol 24/7. You know, like it just get better since my days in the 80s. So it cannot be that there's no army patrol, there's no all the systems to protect the border. For years, they know about those intent. Even 4 months before they did exercise, they get information that it happened. My personal opinion, there was a cooperation. My personal opinion, they didn't expect that kind of atrocities. I didn't think that they will think ever that a human being able to rip a baby from his mom and put him in a oven and cook him while they're raping the mom one after another when the father is tight on the floor and looking. I didn't think that they expect that they will put a family, 2 kids, and mom and father, and poke the father eyes, and on the same time cut the mom nose, ears, breast, and then they will cut the kids' fingers and their daughter legs. They did terrible, unhuman, sick, same like the drug cartel that we can see in Mexico and all of those countries. And it's the same kind of people that they're scum on earth. The other part that, again, it showed that Hamas leaders like Khaled Mashal sit on $5 billion. I mean, imagine, it means terrorism is profitable. And they're all making a lot of personal profit from those people that died on October 7th. And by the way, the people that will die now in Gaza, I don't think that all the people in Gaza are terrorists, but I think that they support terrorists, which is for sure. I don't think that anybody need to die, but I think that the main problem was education, that we allowed people, and you can see it even in Europe, that people allowed to say, we will kill you, and it became like a jihadi war. Like, what is the problem? I mean, you come to Europe and now you claim we will convert you all to Islam. So you see that the hands behind is always to activate radical people. And a lot of people making money from it. But on the same time, I don't think that those people understand. Same like COVID, once you free a virus, you have no control on the virus, and the virus can lead to different viruses that grow up to disease that you will not be able to control. And the superpower that play all of those games behind the scene and open the gates to the evil, they do not understand. We might find ourselves in the Second World War. And I just say, pick the right side right now. Don't look in the history and say, I didn't know it's going to be that way. Because you can see any news. Even I go yesterday in Belgrade and I'm in a shock. I see Free Palestine, big signs, and I'm laughing. I'm saying, oh God, in Slavia Square in Belgrade, I can't believe it. And let's not be naive. There's nothing to free in Gaza. Gaza has a border with Israel. Israel is not in Gaza. Now Israel is in Gaza because Gaza people trigger them to go in and clean then maybe thousands of tunnels under the ground. And everyone talk about humanitarian. Gaza ran out of water, food, but not rockets. How can it be that they have rockets? Why they invest in rockets instead of kindergarten, education, and teach people to love and to live in peace with their neighbors.
Hamas used the resources to buy ammunition, rockets, and not to make civilian infrastructure, not to make to help people. That is pretty much clear to all. But on the other hand, I must ask: does this doctrine, which IDF uses now, there are a lot of civilian casualties, will this provoke further anger against the Israeli people, Israel itself, and the Jews in all over the world? Because as you see, this hatred now, we see a lot of images of dying children, of casualties in Gaza, of children which have no knowledge of Hamas's atrocities and have no responsibility or guilt because they are just children. But we see that there are a lot of children's lives also lost. Is this will provoke even further war and develop into something greater and worse for all of nations, and as much as the Israelis, the Palestinians, and also the further the Middle East, and then again the whole world maybe.
Well, I don't think Israel basically care about it anymore. You know, it's like always the question, what is the proportional answer? Like for this kind of action. So, for example, you kill one baby, I'm going to kill 1 or 2 babies, or I kill million of them. What was the proportional action for the U.S. for Pearl Harbor with a nuclear weapon? So, sometime the proportion of the attack against is not proportional, but in my opinion, look, everyone scream, let's make Gaza a parking lot. Let's immigrate them out of Gaza into the desert. The question is if Israel doing the right thing. And I'm telling you because my first concern, Israel already paid big time. 1,500 murdered, raped, atrocities that you cannot imagine. And I would not attack in Gaza if I was in charge. I will show the world what they did. I will show the world what people in Europe, in Paris, that they are so happy to see. This is their hero, people that murder, beheading babies, kidnap baby at the age of 6 months. All of those things, I will show the world. Not because I'm expecting the Muslim society to support, but maybe because anything they done is against the Quran, it's against their own religion. You talk about barbarian, you talk about cannibals, you don't talk about human. Unfortunately, Gaza is loaded with them, and that's the truth. You want, we face it, we don't want, we don't face it. The reason is, again, coming from years on years from kindergarten, that this is what they teach them. They don't teach them about Winnie Pooh or Disneyland. There is like to dress like soldiers and murder Israeli and killing the Jewish. And so if you brainwash since you are 1-2 years old, you don't think that there's other life than this life.
On Western Coast, you have different Palestinian type of government.
But they say the same, by the way.
Yeah.
You don't see that they say, oh, these people go to beyond any logic. This is not a freedom fighters, these are murderers.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that Palestinian need a solution. I never been claiming different. I have you mentioned I'm also martial artist, and I'm also guarantee, and I have students that are Palestinians. I never been a racist, but I must tell you that what happened is beyond any imagination. I don't see any nation. I don't see if like now in Zagreb, is no matter what the name of the people will come and burglar into community that live in peaceful life, early morning, raping their moms and kidnap Holocaust survival into Gaza. I mean, it's behind any imagination what happened. Israeli side, he fall into the trap. This was a trap to cause something like that. But now Israel, the victim is actually, the victim is actually looking the bad guy. Now you have two options: to give up or to go all the way. And I think that Israel going all the way, because if you hate us so much, keep hate us, we will give you better reason. And sometimes, it's like you walk, somebody spit on you from the balcony, and you keep walking, and then he throw eggs on you, and then he throw pee on you. And one day, when he just do it, you go up and you beat him up, you throw him from the third floor. He will never do it again. So I think that Israel, going into a different stage of the world hate us, we will deal with it. I mean, like I said, just make sure that this time you have excuse why you've been in the wrong side of the history. Because after what happened in the Second World War, everyone, I didn't see, I didn't know, I was just a German soldier I never knew that they have the gas chambers. I think the Jewish and Israeli allowed the war too much, that Jewish blood has no price. And right now, they demand the price with a lot of more. I don't say that I like it, but what will be a solution for people that decide for years they don't want to change their attitude, they don't want to go in a peaceful way, and they declare it: we will come and kill you, we will chop your heads off. And you can see them all over Europe, you can see them all over the world talking like this. And more than this, let's say that they destroyed Israel. Do you think that the problem will be end? I'm guarantee for you that no. Let's say that Israel is going to lose now, destroyed. And do you think that these people, they will just gain more power from it? And those pirates will go all over the world. And we talking about more deep problem. We talk about jihadi. You talk about ISIS mentality, that people, that they're killing their own people. A lot of people from Gaza, they want to escape from the north of Gaza to the south. They're shooting them. They're murdering them. They have no value to human price. These people are like, you cannot even insult the animals and call them animals. Animals don't do those things.
Can we just return to the beginning of our interview? Do you believe that your government, in some sense, betrayed the Israeli people for what happened because it wasn't prepared?
For sure. I will never forgive them. Me personally, I'm not a country. I'm just a small person. I want to see them going to Hague to be judged with the Palestinian behind that situation. They must all, for me, they all were criminal. They had the power to prevent it. For years, they making hate, almost like a civil war in between Israeli. They're making grow up of a hate, they even taking weapon from those settlements. They took the weapon away from them so they cannot protect themselves properly.
That there was a decision from the government, interior defense or whatever ministry, that the kibbutz which were close to the border of Gaza ran out of weapons, to take the weapons from the settlers.
Yeah. The things that and the witness that's coming, there's no doubt. And this is why I say, as much as I'm mad about the atrocities, I said to my friend, they must take all the Israeli government and expose them to see the bodies, to see all those evil videos, because everything was taken with a GoPro camera by the terrorists. Look what you done to your own people. Look what you done. I cannot mad for those Palestinians. I know from age 5 I saw first terror attack in my life. So I know what their mind is. I saw the hate enough years in their eyes. Nothing changed. But how the people, the government that need to protect their own people allow that? How?
Yeah.
They cannot say we failed. You know, in Japan, when you fail, you mentioned I'm a martial artist. One day there was a train accident. The Minister of Transportation, Mecca Harakiri, he suicided himself. To die in honor for a mistake that he did. If you did a mistake, there's responsibility. They even don't admit on their mistake. Those mistakes cannot be happened. I left Israel in 2000 because I saw already how they let it go. I saw the process. I even give them back my citizenship because I could not stand it. And now when I get up, I say, God, I don't believe that all my worry just happened. And it's a process of years in Israel of corruption, not different than the Hamas. It's a corruption. Put idiots in high positions, in responsibilities positions, that they even don't know to tie their own shoes. And that's lead. Either it's like because the people that responsible, they didn't measurement properly, but I believe that there's a way behind, and I believe that there's I don't want to talk about that, like I said, superpower forces that even the government people were surprised when they see, because people do not understand how evil grow very fast and what happened when evil take place. And it's like I will make agreement with you and I say, okay, I'll let you go in, do like a few things and go out. I never think that you will murder and do what you did. So this is the problem. I saw it all the time with the people. They don't understand that they're dealing with different culture, and they don't understand the word culture shock. And this is a culture shock. For them, it's a natural. For a Western guy that make agreement with them, it might be, what? You think they're going to do something like that? Yes, I know that they're going to do. But the people that make that, they didn't imagine. And I think that this blow to everyone on the face. The question, how are we going from there? How it's going? Because, that thing also risking all the worldwide peace.
Yeah. One practical question. You trained and we were the instructor and trainer of the Israeli elite force, most elite unit.
Yes.
What is the mentality of your guys? How are you in contact with some of them? Do you know how do you feel about this situation? How prepared are they to rescue hostages? It's possible still to rescue some hostages, in your opinion?
Yes, of course. First of all, I can only salute to these people. These are honest people that join those units ready in every second to give their life on the mission to protect lives of innocent people. Even there was one hostage that this unit we're talking, Yamam, they got into Gaza and they rescued one of the hostage. So that thanks not only to this unit, we have a lot of units, a lot of police officers, that only thanks to them, it was not worse what happened on October 7th. A lot of police patrol people, police SWAT, Yamam, Shaldag, Matkal, a lot of those kind of elite units, they just went there by first responders and they fight like tigers. A lot of them lost life. A lot of friends lost life. I can tell you that the commander of my unit lost his son. The team leader of my team lost his son. My unit lost 9 great members. We are ready to die. We are ready to fight every day, even if it's in the media, even if it's on the field. We are not murderers. We We are trying really to save innocent people's lives. The situation is horrible. I can only salute to these people that are really honest. They are not the politician. The politicians are totally different characters. They are totally different people, if you can call them people, because I put all the blame on them, on the politicians. And it's not one side is better than the other. A lot of them involved with Wexner Foundation and Gary Epstein, and they recruit to make damage to Israel by different influence. And there's a lot of superpowers over there behind the scene that honestly, I'm happy that I come from the simple units that ready to give their life and not from these corrupted people. Because it's better to die as a man. It's better to die on your legs than to live on your knees like those politicians that selling their souls.
You are often as a military consultant, an expert, and instructor in countries all over the world. How is your experience with Islamic countries? Have you trained those soldiers also? Is there any differences between Shiite government, Sunni government, or more secular governments which also have Islam as a religion? And what is your experience in training these people?
I have a lot of Islamic friends. My best friend, few of them are also Muslim. I know a lot about Muslims and Islam. And what we see as a jihadist, they are not Islamic people. They are radical that kidnapped, as they kidnapped Gaza, the Hamas, they kidnapped Gaza, or ISIS kidnapped different countries, and the Islam is just like a mantra that they're using, because this is the mantra, Allahu Akbar, but they don't follow the mercy and the compassion that any religion actually teaching us. And there's no God in the world that will allow what happening. And it's so my experience, and I'm teaching a lot of even high-level Islamic, and I never saw anything wrong with it, because we need to put the line in between the people that are terrorists and actually they are manipulated a lot of time by superpower that earning benefits from it than the normal Muslim that could live in a peace.
Yeah. Why do you think the Palestinians are so radical in such big percentage, let's say?
You know, if you ask why Egypt don't want them, why Jordan don't want them, I mean, you know that West Bank was Jordan. Before 1967, the West Bank Palestinian, it was Jordan. 70% of Jordanians are Palestinians. But the Hashemi kingdom that controlled them in a very strict hands. Every time they protest, they will get shot. So King Hussein, when they protest against him and try to build like a Palestine over there, he just shoot them. So they escaped to Israel because Israel was always humanitarian. So they raised their hand and crossed to Israel, and then they can live in peace.
Do you think that Israel treated Palestinians
in the best way?
then
Anybody that tell you a different is a liar. If they go to work all over the world, they can work as a prostitute or as a slave. Israel is the only country that allowed them to go to universities, to do whatever they want. And they always using words like apartheid. And I mean, they're just using slogans. But, you know, in Israel, we have Bedouin that are Muslim, and they serve in the army and they're very loyal. We have Druze people, which are Muslim, and they serve in the army and they're very loyal and appreciate and grateful for what the country gives to them. We have Arab judge, not one, not two. We have they can get into any position in Israel. We have in the parliament Muslims. My question will be again, if it will be the opposite. And unfortunately, the Gaza people are different. Gaza was belong of Egypt before 1967. When Israel make agreement of peace with Gaza, with Egypt, they don't want Gaza. Why they don't want Gaza? Because they are problematic people. Why Jordan didn't want West Bank? They took the desert, the Sinai desert, which is a desert of nothing, but they don't want to take Gaza because you talk about problematic people. And all the Muslim community, they know it. They just use it because the jihad is something that in the last few years is growing up. And they're using the Palestinian problems. You know, you ask Palestinian, give me a famous name of Palestinian. They will say Yasser Arafat. But Yasser Arafat born in Cairo, in Egypt. So he's Egyptian. You see, it just people mostly like gypsies, different tribes and different that settled down in Gaza area by the years. Of course, I'm about solution to any community because also the Kurdish people never got a land. And they are much more than Gaza people, and they never got a state. So there's so many Arab countries that none of them want to take the refugees from Gaza. But Denmark took the refugees from Gaza in 2005, and 65% of them, they're already in jail. And the other, they're just taking benefits from the country. They don't work. So you see that the problem is not Israel. The problem is in the attitude and the culture of these people. They do not want any peace. They do not want to work. They're like pirates that, for them, selling drugs, smuggling, do things like that, it's the normal thing. They don't move and say, wow, I can move my family and live in peaceful Denmark. And I guarantee for you that if you go to France and if you go to England, a lot of them, they're always involved with the dark world.
Okay. One last question, Avi. How do you see this end?
Ooh, we will die a long years before that problem will be end. This is some trigger that I think, again, the world needs these kind of problems. I mean, when I say the world, is like the world run by different societies. And they need, like sometimes to create problem here and then light the fire there. The Middle Eastern is like explosive. All you need is to light a cigarette. And right now, somebody light the cigarette. I think that we are facing a lot, unfortunately, a few years before it slows down. Or you do a solution. The solution can be done. But if you see, even in 2005, when Israel go to Gaza, it's just like some kind of a game. We go a little bit, you earn nothing by doing it. So they kill 10, you kill 50, but you didn't solve the problem.
Yeah, it doesn't end.
Sometimes to solve the problem, you have to go rough. Even now, when I look about the military and I'm looking to myself and I says, I was in a war in 1982. It took very fast to go to Beirut. And what is Gaza? Yeah, they have a guerrilla fighters, but I don't say that it's easy. I just say that if you play rough, play rough. Don't play.
Okay. Thank you very much, Avi.
Thank you.
Fight and your
Love and peace. We always hope for a peace.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Evo, vidjeli ste, odnosno poslušali što je gospodin Avi Nardia, bivši Maor izraelskih obrambenih snaga, izraelske vojske, instruktor njihovih specijalnih postrojbi i obavještajni, znači djelatnik unutar tih specijalnih jedinica, što je rekao o ovome svemu i mislim da se možemo složiti da su neke stvari koje je izgovorio šokantne, a treba uzeti u obzir da on i iz ove pozicije u kojoj je sada, znači gdje više nije djelatni časnik, ali je instruktor koji prenosi znanja iz izraelske vojske i izraelskih specijalnih postrojbi, on to znanje prenosi po cijelom svijetu i obučava razne vojske i specijalne postrojbe. Hoću reći, on je i dalje u kontaktu i dio je tog svijeta, što znači da njegovo mišljenje i njegove informacije imaju veliku težinu. Ne radi se o nekakvoj, znači, nebitnoj osobi, radi se o čovjeku koji je povezan sa obavještajnim krugovima i koji i dalje dobija podatke iz Izraela. Ono što je tu šokantno i o čemu se javno ne govori i što je ostalo nedorečeno i u samom Izraelu, zbog čega i traju prosvjedi, je kako se to uopće dogodilo. Mi ne možemo reći, znati sa sigurnošću, potvrditi ono što je gospodin Nardia rekao, ali sumnje postoje kako je do tog samog događaja došlo, odnosno kako su unutar te Gaze isplanirali, a onda i izveli taj masakar izraelskih civila i vojnika. I pretpostavka koju iznosi, znači teorija koju je iznio gospodin Nardia na osnovu informacija kojima barata i njegovog poznavanja cijelog sigurnosnog sustava Izraela, je ta da je postala nekakva namjera da se izazove incident, odnosno da se propusti te divljake, te Hamasovce, teroriste da počine neku vrstu zločina, ali da nije niko pretpostavljao, znači oni koji su bili eventualni kreatori te zavjere nisu pretpostavljali da će to eskalirati do te mjere da izazove toliko smrti i da takav masakr se dogodi. Ponavljam, znači to je ono što je zaključak gospodina Nardije na osnovu njegovog iskustva i njegovih kontakata koji ima u Izraelu i poznavanja cijelog sigurnosnog sustava. Mi možemo u to vjerovati ili ne, ali i ako ćemo gledati posve objektivno i po nekoj čistoj logici, sumnje svakako postoje koje ukazuju na to da se nešto čudno tu dogodilo. Sada daljnji razvoj događaja je takav da imamo jednu nesvakidašnju situaciju na svjetskom nivou. Ujedinjeni narodi i kompletno sve njihove organizacije apeliraju na hitno zaustavljanje napada u Gazi, na prestanak bombardiranja, na neku vrstu humanitarnog primjera. Glavni tajnik Ujedinjenih naroda govori o velikom dječjem groblju, jer svakog dana umire i ranjava se stotine djece u Gazi. Istodobno zapadni svijet, odnosno Sjedinjene Američke Države, i dalje podržavaju Izrael. Neki dan je došla i nuklearna podmornica u potpori već dva bojna broda koja se tamo nalaze, odnosno i ova dva nosača aviona. Tako da Amerika tu daje potporu Izraelu do kraja, neovisno o svim ljudskim žrtvama. Kako će to se odraziti na svjetsku politiku u kontekstu da je do sada percepcija, odnosno način predstavljanja sukoba u svijetu je bio kroz onu binarnu prizmu Rusi i Kinezi su loši momci, Amerikanci, Velika Britanija, Francuska i ostali su dobri i oni predstavljaju slobodni svijet. Sada imamo situaciju, znači, u kojoj taj zapadni svijet dosta jasno daje podršku Izraelu za nekim, možemo govoriti čak i konačnim rješenjem palestinskog pitanja, jer sad se već nameću neke ideje što će biti poslije i premijer Benjamin Netanyahu koji vodi Izrael i koji je prozivan za korupciju i bez da se ovo nije dogodilo, on je bio najvjerojatnije završio onako kako je završio Sanader u Hrvatskoj. Znači on govori o nekakvoj upravi, vojnoj upravi Gaze, koja bi bila usmjerena na potpunu kontrolu palestinskog stanovništva, uvoz za sve moguće robe, raspoređivanja hrane i namirnica, znači da jednom logoru koji bi bio gori logor od ovoga što je bio do sada. Znači do sada oni su uživali za te žice, ali su očito imali dovoljno slobode da razvijaju svoje neke planove, da gomilaju oružje i tako dalje. Sada ova faza, odnosno način na koji bi u budućnosti to funkcioniralo, bio bi da oni koji prežive ovaj užas, oni bi bili u tom nekoj vrsti tog logora gdje bi im se apsolutno kontrolirali svi aspekti života. Sama ideja je užasavajuća, ona je rasistička, ona je van svake pameti. Istodobno svjedočimo tome da ni te arapske zemlje, ni susjedne države, islamski svijet ne nudi utočište tim Palestincima. To je ono što je govorio i sam Nardija, kako se oni moraju ponašati u drugim zemljama, koju represiju doživljavaju. Znači ne od Izraelaca, od Židova, nego od samih Arapa. Tako da je to vrlo kompleksno pitanje. Ono što mi iz hrvatske perspektive moramo biti svjesni, imamo u Bosni i Hercegovini je došlo do tog, lagano dolazi do razvoja tih islamskog radikalizma. Imali smo i primjer jednog bivšeg zapovjednika brigade armije Bosne i Hercegovine, jedne koji je rekao da se stavlja na raspolaganje Hamasu. Imamo druge pojedince i grupe koji na isti način razmišljaju. U ovom trenutku nema nekakvih terorističkih akata, nema takvih događaja, ali s obzirom na poziciju Republike Srpske, stalne prijetnje da će se oni odcijepiti od Bosne i Hercegovine, pa imali smo onaj pokušaj na Kosovu koji se dovodi u vezu isto sa ruskim obavještajnim službama. Znači, Balkan kao takav i Hrvatska pozicionirana uz taj Balkan i dijelom na Balkanu je može biti sljedeća točka na kojoj će se zapaliti vatra, i to je isto i Nardija rekao, koji sam je svjestan toga da i ovdje postoje neke predispozicije za mogući sukob i za mogući rat. Sreća je ta jedino u svemu što vojne sile kojima raspolažu države poput recimo Srbije i tako dalje nisu na tako opasnoj razini i ne mogu očekivati izravnu pomoć Rusije i vjerojatno se ne bi usudili zbog NATO saveza. Ali pošto se NATO s jedne strane, znači Zapad pomaže Ukrajinu, s druge strane sad pomaže Izrael, imamo i pitanje Tajvana gdje Kina praktički u svakom momentu može se odlučiti na invaziju, tako da sve je postavljeno u smislu, svi preduvjeti nekakvog svjetskog globalnog sukoba su tu, on se do određene mjere već i odvija, a Hrvatska ne vodi suverenu, baš samostalnu politiku i ovdje je dosta ishitreno glasovala protiv te rezolucije u Ujedinjenim narodima, iako je mogla ostati ili suzdržana ili glasovati za nju, neovisno o tom, kako bi rekao, birokratskoj prepreci u kojoj se traži da se i specijalno osudi Hamas, jer tu se radilo više o tehnikali. Znači, ideja je sama da se dođe do nekog primjera u kojem bi se dio tih civila, ranjenika i prije svega djece mogao jednostavno skloniti na neko sigurnije područje, i to je bit svega, jer djeca su tako masovno ginu i uz današnju tehnologije, medije, društvene mreže mi u realnom vremenu svjedočimo njihovim smrtima, svjedočimo stravičnim snimkama, ali i potpunoj pasivnošću i inertnosti cijelog svijeta, svih političara, cijele politike da se nešto stvarno učini. Čujemo puno poziva da se sad to zaustavi, ali nitko ništa konkretno ne čini. Hrvatska, koja će se uskoro kroz 10-ak dana, evo imamo sada i situaciju, odnosno čekaju nas naše obljetnice, naših tragedija, vjerojatno obični ljudi to osjećaju, ali službena politika, predstavnici čak i oporbe i ostali ne percipiraju što se događa i koliko je užasno da živimo u svijetu gdje svakoga dana gine toliko djece u tako malom prostoru, bez mogućnosti da se izađu, da se spase i bez da im nitko nudi taj spas. Tako da u danima koji slijede, gdje se sjećamo svojih poginulih branitelja, nestalih osoba, sjetimo se, pomislimo malo i na ljude kojima se to isto događa i danas, odnosno na djecu koja prolaze sve te užase, strahote i koja ginu svakoga dana. Eto, hvala vam puno na pozornosti i vidimo se uskoro za tjedan dana.